Our special guests. We have Carl and Mike with Aegis. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
Thanks for having us on. We too are excited.
Yes, you are. I mean, I could, are you excited as me?
We're pretty excited, that's for sure. I don't know if we're that excited, but we're pretty excited.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to come on live and talk to our brokers. Maureen said good morning. She's mostly Medicare and she's in South Carolina. Thank you.
There you go.
And I know that sometimes on Zoom there is a lag when you're typing in questions. So just know that we are reading them. And then one of our biggest compliments on these trainings is that we get to the point. So, Carl, I'm going to pass it to you.
Enough chit chat. Let's get down to business. Okay.
Down to business.
There you go. I'll run through this presentation. If you guys feel free to stop me at any time. Mike, jump in anytime if you want to add anything at all.
Great.
But we, as we just said, we are truly honored to be partnering with Eldercare to talk about business expansion and different ways that we can help you guys help your clients and make more money. My name is Carl Muehlemeyer. I didn't know Mike was going to be on here, so there's no slide for Mike. So you just have to picture his pretty mug right next to my picture. But we are Aegis Financial. We too are an integrity company, just like Eldercare. And we were celebrating 30 years last year in 2025. But we focus on annuities, life, and long-term care. I want to just run through a real quick overview of our company just to kind of help you guys get a little familiar with us. We laugh about the Jerry Maguire movie. I don't know if you guys remember that. Some of you probably do. But Jerry's motto was fewer clients, more attention. No, it was not show me the money. It was fewer clients, more attention. And that's
Don't remember that one.
I don't remember that one either. I remember Jerry Maguire, not that statement.
That was it was show me the money, but that's a different part of the movie. Jerry's motto was fewer clients, more attention. But that's really the model that we operate even today. And just real quick, run through a couple of numbers with you. We focus on annuities. We did $1 billion in 2025 and hopefully do that or more this year from a team of 25 people and about 400 writing agents across the country. And we operate within this business, within a business model. Mike is a divisional president and leads our Medicare team. And, we don't have any turnover with our company on the sales side and also on the agent side. We have people that have actually been at our company for 25 years and even agents that have been with us that long. So that's pretty special. We're very proud of that. But today we're talking about truly an unprecedented opportunity. And this is one of the reasons I am so excited. This is kind of our mantra. We get to help a lot of people and make a lot of money. What else could you possibly ask for in a profession? Truly, is to help people and make some money. And today we're talking about ways for Medicare agents to diversify and expand their business with, you guessed it, annuities. What a concept. And we always like to throw this out there. Who wants to sell annuities? It's kind of like who wants to be a millionaire? You guys remember that part, that one.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, for sure. And I love that question. Like, are you asking that to everyone right now?
Yeah, I had questions just every single day. I get a question, something about an annuity. Someone has come across somebody that had some money fall in their lap and they don't know what to do with it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We know what to do with it. So yeah, I mean, who wants to sell annuities? The answer is we all do. I think it's, and I certainly raised my hand. I put myself into that category. But our experience in working with Medicare agents that want to sell annuities, it's not easy. It's a challenge. There's this wide gap that exists from the health conversation to the wealth conversation. And primarily the reason is that your clients perceive you as their healthcare advisor, their Medicare professional. So when you start talking about annuities or retirement or money and finance, it can be a little jarring. It just, I like to use this analogy like if you're going to go to the dentist, if I were sitting in the dentist chair and he's cleaning my teeth, and he pulls the screen down like in the picture there, and he says, "Hey, Carl, while you're sitting in the chair, I want to talk to you about some investment property that I've, it just doesn't feel right. It feels a little disjointed." And I think a lot of times that's the reason that it's difficult for Medicare agents to talk about annuities. Well, what if there were an easier transition, a more natural approach that felt more appropriate? But we could achieve the same results, which of course is to sell lots of annuities. So put a pin in that for just a second. We'll come back to that. I want to shift gears and talk a little bit about an epidemic that is happening in America. And to do that, we need to look at the baby boomers, your clients. What do we know about the baby boomers? Well, the oldest baby boomer turns 80 years old this year. Amazing. This boomer generation from 1946 to 1964, huge generation. You guys know that. Here's some other statistics you probably know. 10,000 baby boomers turning 65 every single day in this country through 2030. And what do we know about the baby boomers? They have huge economic influence. So no matter what phase of life they've been in, they've had this huge influence in our economy, from the time they were in diapers to the time they bought their first home. Well, what's the next sector that they're going to drive in our economy? Well, I think you guys know where I'm going with this. It's healthcare. This tremendous demand for healthcare. When the oldest baby boomer is 80 years old, there are 54 million baby boomers, or people over the age of 65, in our country. Guys, this is the largest social health crisis of our time. And again, you probably know where I'm going. It's long-term care. This long-term care tsunami that's coming for us. And let me throw out a couple of alarming. I'm sorry, go ahead, Candi.
No, I was just saying that's a good analogy, tsunami.
It is. And you'll see it in just a second why this tsunami is sort of coming for us. This is a statistic that blows my mind. Ever since we're living longer, you guys know that. We all know that. Ever since the 1850s, our life expectancies in America have gone up 2.5 years every decade. Ever since the 1850s, our life expectancy have increased in America here 2.5 years every decade. Now they're saying from 2025 to 2035, they're expecting an unprecedented life expectancy increase, not 2.5 years, but 30-year life expectancy, which is just mind-blowing when you think about it. It's because of AI, it's because of modern medicine. And, even if it isn't 30 years, if they're wrong, if it's not 30 years, what if it's half of that? What if it's 10 years? Think about the strain that's going to put on Social Security. It's going to put on, if you're going to be living 10 years longer than you anticipated, well into triple digits, that's going to create some problems. Here's a couple other statistics to throw at you. People that are 65 and over, percentage that will need long-term care at some point in their lifetimes, 70%. High percentage. And this is the one that always gets me. If you're married and you're 65, there is a 91% chance that either you or your spouse will need care at some point in your lifetime. That's 9 points away from a guarantee. Here's the problem. 3% of us are prepared and have a plan. So that's the tsunami that's coming. Here's the problem. It's very expensive. So this is a nationwide, this is a great resource, guys. If you want to go check out carescout.com, this is Genworth that does this website. You can go in and they have a calculator and you can look at what the costs of long-term care are in your area. This is a nationwide snapshot. But in 2026, if you want home health care, it's going to cost you about $7,000 a month. And that's only for 44 hours of care per week. So it doesn't include nights and weekends, basically. If you want assisted living in 2026, it's about $6,500. A semi-private nursing home is almost $10,000 a month. And a private nursing home is over $11,000 a month. Here's a question for you guys. When are people most likely to need care? So if you're working with a 65-year-old today, how likely is it that they're going to need care today or tomorrow or next week, next month, next year, even 5 or 10 years? Probably not likely. People most of the time, statistically speaking, need care in their mid 80s. So if you're working with a 65-year-old, that's 20 years from now. What does the cost look like in 20 years? Hold on to your shorts, ladies. This is, fasten your seatbelt when you look at the cost. I mean, in 2046, home health care is over $15,000 a month. Assisted living, $14,000. Nursing home, almost $25,000 a month for a private room. I mean, the costs are just, it's hard to even wrap your head around it.
And think about this too. The average nursing home stay is anywhere from 2 to 5 years.
Yes.
If our living expectation goes up that much, you could be there longer in the nursing home.
Candi, you are spot on. You are spot on. And typically women need care longer than men do. So when you say 2.5 to 5 years, you're spot on.
Yeah.
So think about the costs that are associated with that. I am passionate about this. I think you'll sense that about me. This is a subject that's close to home, like it is for many of us. These are my in-laws, Byron and Karen Lucas, amazing people. We lost my father-in-law in 2016, but he put a plan in place. He knew he would predecease his wife, and he did. But he wanted to make sure she was taken care of. So the very planning that we're talking about today and that we teach agents is the plan that he did for his wife. So I got to see it unfold. This is my mother-in-law in 2025. It's hard to believe it's the same woman. I look at these pictures every time. That's my beautiful wife on her left there. But she had Alzheimer's. So shortly after he passed away, she came down with Alzheimer's, and this was, almost 10 years. And I have a front row seat to watch the strain and the stress and the burden that she went through, that we went through. And we didn't even have the financial burden, fortunately, like many people do. So this is a real issue, and this is one of the reasons it's so personal to me. But guys, this truly is the largest social health crisis of our time. It's also one of the largest, most overlooked risks that people face in retirement. So I like to throw this question out to everyone. How many of your clients do you think are working with a financial advisor or a retirement planner? Half of them? More? 75%?
I say less.
Less? Okay. Well, how many of those financial advisors are talking to your clients about a plan for long-term care? And the answer is none of them. None of them are talking to your clients. We work with annuity agents all over the country. Nobody is talking about this. And nobody is helping people. And more importantly, nobody is helping your clients. Therein lies the unprecedented opportunity for Medicare agents. We believe that there is no professional better suited to help people address this problem and address this problem with your clients than you. We actually believe it's your duty and responsibility to do so as their healthcare advisor. But this is really where problem and opportunity intersect. And this is what we're talking about today. Obviously, a chance to diversify and expand your business. Here's how we help. We have a unique program called Advanced Medicare Planning that we're working with Eldercare and their agents to teach Medicare agents how to address the long-term care issue that their clients are facing. Get ready for it, people, with annuities. Wow. That's it. That's the beauty of the whole presentation. Because it allows Medicare agents, when you talk about long-term care and focus on addressing that problem with your clients expect that conversation from you. It allows you to stay in your lane and in that healthcare vein, so to speak, and address the gap in Medicare for long-term care. So your conversations are what your clients expect. When you start talking about annuities and money and retirement, it's that dentist analogy. It just doesn't feel right. But when you keep it in the conversation of healthcare, it's much more natural. And that's why this approach is so successful. But yet we still accomplish the goal of selling annuities. So in our what we teach you is how to think differently. It's really thinking about accepting, number one, accepting this duty and responsibility, but also thinking of yourselves as not just a Medicare agent. You are their complete healthcare advisor, and you address all of their healthcare needs. And this is sort of, I know a lot of you guys are already doing this. You might be doing MAPDs or supplements, and you're doing dental and vision and hospital indemnity. So what we do is we just help you add one more piece to that puzzle, or to that circle, and protect all the gaps in coverage so that no bill derails retirement.
When he says that, I think of introduction. I think if your introduction to your client is letting them know that's a part of your briefcase.
Yeah, you got to say it from the
You
beginning.
got to say it.
Absolutely. That's a great point. I mean, it's a complete plan, right? I mean, you're addressing all of their healthcare coverage, not just Medicare. It's anything that could affect them in the healthcare space.
Makes sense to me. You got some folks already interested.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I want to shift gears and kind of run through our strategy of using annuities. We don't just use annuities because we can. This is actually a superior plan. And I want to run through that with you real quick. First, let's look at the drawbacks of traditional long-term care. You guys already know this. It's difficult to qualify for. Premiums are expensive. You lose control as you age, and the premiums start going up. You really don't have any choice but to pay the increase in premiums or drop your coverage. And then, of course, they use it or lose it. That's probably the biggest drawback.
That's why no one's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some other options maybe to talk about, and we get into these in more depth in our training. But Medicare obviously does not. How many of your clients think that Medicare takes care of long-term care? Guarantee you there is a large percentage. They think, oh, Medicare is going to help me with that. Medicaid is not a good option. Medicaid is a last resort plan. I've heard horror stories about Medicaid facilities. People talk about wanting to, we'll just sell the house if we need care. Well, there are drawbacks to that as well, because first of all, it's not the smartest tax advantage in selling your house. And then what happens to the well spouse once the sick spouse passes away? Where are they going to live? And then we talk about, caregivers. My wife's going to take care of me, or my kids are going to take care of me. And as we know, oftentimes the caregiver, long-term care event is harder on the caregivers than the actual individual. So relying on your spouse and your family to take care of you is not a good option. Here's what we do. Here's how we use annuities, guys. We simply reposition a portion of assets, a portion of savings, into a long-term care annuity. And we like to use the bucket analogy because it's so easy to understand. We all have buckets of money in retirement. We all have buckets of money, period. Your clients might have an IRA bucket. They might have a brokerage bucket or a bank savings bucket. And what we do is simply reposition a portion of savings into this new long-term care annuity bucket. And another way to look at it is this left pocket, right pocket analogy. Super simple. We're simply moving from one pocket, left pocket, to the right pocket. So it's still on your person, so to speak. But the reason we do that is because it gives it a big boost in the account value for long-term care. And there are also significant tax advantages for doing that. Here's another way to think about it too. Think of it as it's just a savings account, like a traditional savings account. A lot of similarities, but there are some differences as well. They both earn competitive interest. They're both insured. Funds are available for withdrawal if they need to access the money. The account balance is payable to the beneficiary. So it works just like a normal savings account, but here's the difference. You have higher earning potential because the annuities we're talking about are oftentimes indexed annuities. And then there's the big one, guaranteed coverage for long-term care versus a traditional savings account. And then it's tax efficient. So it's really the best of both worlds. It's we put people in a position where it's the best possible place to be if you have a claim, and the best possible position if you don't have a claim. Let me walk through that. Okay, here's an example. Your client might have $400,000 in an IRA or in a 401k. Here's what we do. We reposition a portion of savings. So we leave $250 in this case in that IRA, and then we reposition $150,000 into the long-term care annuity. Again, it's this repositioning concept. Here's what it looks like. The IRA long-term care annuity, $150,000 that we just repositioned, gets an immediate 24% bonus, which equates to $36,000. So their account value from get-go is $186,000. Here's how it works. Okay, this is an indexed annuity. So the indexed account, savings account, like any other savings account, in this case, we took an average of 5.54%. They would have over $300,000 in 10 years. Hold on to your shorts.
Hanging on.
Okay, this is where the real power is. 150 times their earnings goes into the long-term care account. So their long-term care benefit receives 150 times the amount. So in this case, $430,000 would be available for long-term care. Now, we just talked about when are people most likely to need care if they're 65? You got 20 years here, people, before they're going to need care. So what does that look like? Well, in 20 years, their account value is over 500,000 at 5.54%. Long-term care benefit is over $800,000. I mean, they put in 150,000 and they have $800,000 in this example available for long-term care. Every time I walk through the numbers, I get excited about it.
Proof is in the numbers, right?
Exactly. So here are some questions that people typically ask. Well, what will my long-term care benefit be? Well, using that 800,000, it's almost $115,000 payable for 7 years. I mean, again, they just put in 150 and they've got 115,000 payable for 7 years. Candi, you were talking about average stay of 2 to 5 years. We like the 7 years because, like my mother-in-law and a lot of people were seeing Alzheimer's and dementia on the rise. So, having a little bit longer coverage, I think makes a ton of sense, especially when we walk through this here. If
you talked about, lifespan being longer. So,
Yep, absolutely. If they don't have a claim, again, remember the best possible position. If you don't have a claim, well, the account value, 500,000, just goes to their beneficiaries. And then, this is a question that oftentimes comes up is, well, what if I need to access, I need long-term care for 2 years and then I pass away? What happens to the balance? Well, same in this case, that $115,000 gets paid for 7 years, no matter what. So if you need it for 2, then the other 5 years goes to your beneficiary. So it's pretty powerful. And here's the one of the best parts about it. This particular product and many of the products we talk about, there is no underwriting whatsoever. I mean, I think you guys would agree. If we're going to bring a solution to our clients, it's got to be simple. I mean, it's got to be an easy solution for them. It's got to be easy solution for you guys. There's no underwriting. Now, we do have a couple of annuities that do have some simplified, very simplified underwriting. We're not going to get into those today, but obviously simple is best. And again, there's that best possible position, regardless whether you have a claim or whether you don't have a claim. So I believe our sort of strategy is far superior. Okay. So we talked about 2 parts. If you guys remember, our mantra, it was help a lot of people and make a lot of money. There's 2 parts to that. So what does that second part look like? If we look at the compensation breakdown on a $150,000 case, that's a $12,000 average commission. And that's 0 to 70 at issue. I mean, again, I just, how wonderful is it that we can help people, but also be well compensated? So the question I would throw out there is, what if you could help just one client a month? One client, two clients? If we're talking about a husband and wife, that $150,000 typically is for one person.
Mhm.
So what if you could help just one or two clients a month? What kind of financial impact could that have on your business? These are all the things that we teach at our advanced Medicare planning program and training called AMP. And here's what it looks like, guys. This is it. We teach Medicare agents how to do this. And it's a 3-phase process. Phase 1 is classroom training. Okay, it's really the story and really understanding the issue and the problem. It's long-term care 101. It's how to initiate the conversation, how to position a client meeting, and what to say and how to say it. We teach you everything, including the scripting, what to say on a phone call. And we do that in 2 ways. We either do it in person. We actually have an event with you guys next week in person, or we also do it virtually. Then phase 2. Phase 2 is field training. This is where you actually get to shadow someone that's already doing it, someone from our team that is already an expert in this. And you get to work with them and see hands-on, true hands-on experience, how this is done. And it's real clients, real situations. It's sort of this earn while you learn process. And if you've ever been in that environment, training environment, you know that there isn't any better way to learn and to train than to actually shadow someone and see it done. So we recommend at least doing that at three cases before you advance on to phase 3. But a lot of agents that we work with, they never get out of phase 2. They stay right in phase 2 and just let someone else, they just are part of that meeting because they don't necessarily have to learn all the details of long-term care and the annuities. But phase 3 is really at the point when you are a certified specialist. And again, this can take as long as you need to get to phase 3 or stay in phase 2. But here are some of the benefits of phase 3. You have access, ongoing support to our coaches and illustration support. We do a weekly call to support agents. Marketing systems. We're not going to have time, obviously, today to get into the marketing systems that we have, but you have access to all of that. And then you're also eligible for level 2 training, annuities beyond long-term care, which is addressing income and other issues in retirement. But that's our training in a nutshell. It's 3-phase process. And then we actually have a virtual training coming up September 1st. It's about a month away. And it is at 10 a.m. Central Time. And this is, again, phase 1. This is the classroom training. It's a 2-hour virtual event. You can actually get registered. There's the QR code right there. I'll leave that up for just a second. September 1st. I mean, it'll be here before we know it. 30 days away, less than 30 days. I always like to put this up there. Again, I think we all want to sell annuities, but unless we take steps in our business and make some changes, even small changes can amount to a lot, but it's that definition of insanity. We're expecting different results and we never actually make the changes we need to change the way we do business and to adapt to what's happening and get out of our comfort zone a little. But that's where it happens. That's where growth happens. And then we get back to helping a lot of people and making a lot of money, guys. This is our program. This is what we do and how we help you grow your business and help your clients. So there's the virtual training again, and I'm sure they can reach out to you guys if they want to get signed up or they aren't able to register right now. But that's it. That's our presentation.
Thank you so much, Carl. I learned a lot, and I am so excited for our brokers to have this opportunity to work with you guys and help their clients with that long-term care. part of their
Yes.
health care. It's really important for the agent to have that conversation. There are some questions coming through, and
Yep.
as always, we're gonna call everyone on this webinar that attended and let them know how this program works, kind of what contracts you need and the next steps for when you're interested.